How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Friday, May 24th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are doing great. It's good to be here with all of you, as usual. I'm super stoked that everybody enjoyed the sun signs and that it was useful and that it went well, because I was slightly nervous about how to deliver it, and it seemed to do pretty well. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed that. So if you're new here, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, say what's up, like this video, share this video with anybody who would enjoy it or get use out of it. My reading sale is available on my website, where you can find the link to my booking website in the description of this video, along with all the links to all of my social media platforms, where you can find me everywhere on the internet. So hit that up. The first week of June is pretty much booking out, so this is going to be going to June 21st. So, and even though we're in Gemini season, Venus is coming into Gemini today, we still got a lot of Taurus energy going on that's going to be activating this Jupiter, Uranus, the Sun, Jupiter conjunct Venus, Jupiter we had yesterday on the full moon. This is going to be being activated over these next few weeks, and even when Mars comes into Taurus going into July. So, I think today is interesting because the moon passing through Sag still, and Venus is now in Gemini, officially. So, I think what's important too, because this full moon was definitely a big release, releasing belief systems, old values that did not serve us anymore, really assessing our belief systems and really getting to a place of these belief systems really don't belong here anymore within me, and our values and our belief systems have changed dramatically, especially since Uranus has been in Taurus. Because when Uranus came into Taurus, that was the end of Saturn in Sagittarius, right at the end, going into 2018. So, there's been this whole process of our belief systems really being transformed, and Neptune in the 29th degree of Pisces really shattering illusions and deceptions within and without us, definitely in the world. And we're seeing a lot of wild weather going on across the world, and really getting down to the core of what is really true, what is real, where have we overlooked things in life, or where we've just kind of brushed things off and have not really acknowledged the reality about things. And I think that's what's interesting today too, is getting down to the truth of the path that we are headed, right? And Mars just crossed this north node. Mars is now at 18 degrees, getting closer to Chiron. So this moon in Sagittarius today is going to make a badass trine to the north node. It's going to activate where this Mars north node conjunction was at 14 degrees. And the south node in Libra, it's like, okay, to bring balance into our lives, we have to really address these belief systems, and our values and our philosophies and our ideas of the world and what we want to let go of with this south node. And it's a positive thing. It's a positive outcome. And us being able to let go of these things are being supported, and really just saying, okay, this is no longer it. I no longer feel this way. I no longer believe this anymore. This does not really align with how my life has changed, how the world has changed, how within me, the world within ourselves has changed. And that this moon trining in the north node is okay, I know exactly where I'm aiming, what I'm heading for, this new idea of what the truth really is for you as an individual and how that's shaping your identity. Today is definitely a day where it's we're being supported towards the direction of the development of how our belief systems are changing, right? And I think it's connected to this deep healing transformation that we've gone through with Chiron North Node. Mars is about to be there, right? And that Mercury retrograde we had through April that was crossing these areas over and over and over again. It's now we are putting the plan and the understanding and this new understanding about ourselves and our identity towards getting to a more healed version of who we are and evolving towards a better future and being able to aim as high as we possibly can. Like we're starting to really understand what we actually need to do and the plan that we actually need to implement and put it into action and take action towards this healing that is our bodies and our physical selves are really calling for. Okay, like Pluto is back at 1 degrees 59 seconds, so it's just coming into the first degree of Aquarius, and then it's going to retrograde back to 0, and then by September it's going to be back at the 29th degree of Capricorn, and it's going to be the last time. So here we go. Think about what it was back in March, right? What kind of deep shit were you experiencing? What kind of unconscious stuff was rising up within you back in March? I think this is us reassessing that time frame, right? Whatever was happening within us on a deep unconscious level. I think those things are going to start to come back up and resurface, more information, more hidden things that need to be revealed, that want to be revealed, and especially with Venus on its way to trine Pluto. Venus is going to come to 1 degree today. So Venus is going to start its trine to Pluto. We just had that Sun trine Pluto at 2 degrees. So definitely in our relationships and our value systems, right? Where we want to feel secure in life. I think being able to branch out and connect with other people on a deep level, experience new, different environments, try new things, okay? Be able to connect with people on a deeper level. I think this is what people are really desiring nowadays, okay? And it's harder to connect on a deeper level with how technology is transformed, right? This Pluto and Aquarius, technology, how has that affected us, right? Well, I think us being able to understand these things better and understand kind of the social networking environments better and how to use them in a positive way that can increase your value and, make better connections with human beings, okay? I think this is going to help us be able to connect with people in different ways, in unique ways, right? And I think this is also connected to the Venus-Uranus conjunction, because Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius, okay? Venus is ruled by Taurus, so Uranus and Taurus here with Pluto in Aquarius and Venus now in Gemini, I think it's all kind of speaking to this whole new spark within us of like we really are desiring deep connection right now. We really want to be able to connect with people, and it definitely with different kinds of people, not the same old normal thing where we're just comfortable and we expect I think this is going to help us kind of break patterns within relationships, and help us break free from where things are just stuck and stagnant within relationships. Any belief systems or values that are just not being willing to change. Venus-Uranus conjunction already triggered that. So I think that trigger that happened with the Venus-Uranus conjunction and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction of wow, my belief systems, my values are changing. How I want to connect with people are changing. So I think the positive energy that's coming through with Venus-Pluto starting to trine, and we just had the Sun trine Pluto, this is giving us the energy to just break out of the norm, break out of the comfort zones. With Venus and Taurus, it's we want to be where we're at. It's we don't really want to dabble outside of our little bubble, our routine, our comfort zone. Now Venus and Gemini is really asking us to go out, go do things. If someone asks you, hey, you want to go out tonight? Instead of saying, I want to stay home and just sit on the couch and eat some food and if I can watch Netflix, all that kind of stuff, all the Taurus stuff, which is great. It's always fun. It's good. But with this Venus Gemini, it wants to go out on the town, do things it normally wouldn't do. Because I think with this Venus trine Pluto and Aquarius, if you're willing to branch outside your comfort zones, you're going to connect with people in ways that's wow, I know I've desired this. But I may have even forgotten that this is what I truly desire, because that's how Pluto works. You repress things, it buries things. with Pluto. We bury and repress and suppress feelings and emotions and desires with Pluto. And if we don't address those things, that's when the cataclysms happen, right? And if you really get into the evolutionary astrology and Jeffrey Wolf Green's work, who I love, which is much deeper astrology than, just doing a mundane horoscope or a personal horoscope, which I want to get into more. And I think I have a group of people where we've been talking about, hey, we should talk more about the evolutionary astrology stuff, which has been a big inspiration for me on an astrological level, right? But, with Pluto, what Pluto does through cycles, Pluto will force change. It will force you to awaken, okay? Pluto only creates change through cataclysms, right? Through extreme events where things get repressed and suppressed and things build up and build up and build up, and then the lid of the volcano just has to go boom. Okay? That's how Pluto functions. That's those Pluto cycles. You can look at the Pluto cycles in your chart, all the way back to birth, or even prenatally, or even past lives in your chart. If you're looking at Pluto, I focus on that a lot in readings, is Pluto in the nodes, because that's the language I'm more familiar with on an evolutionary level with astrology, is like looking at where those real cataclysms occurred. And I think, too, with Venus making this great trine to Pluto and the Sun making a great trine to Pluto is really helping us look at these things where it's like, wow, I've really repressed these feelings, and that if I'm willing to step outside these comfort zones, I can really, look at these things that have been repressed and these desires that have been repressed and work through them and heal these things by connecting with others and branching out into new environments and experimenting in different ways, with different connections and different partners, and looking at your values and your belief systems in a different way. And, okay, where do I really feel secure? But with Venus and Gemini, it's like, well, I don't really feel secure just sitting in one place all the time. I need to be stimulated, right? Anything that's going to stimulate your mind at this point in time is going to help you look at these repressed feelings and desires that, you haven't really thought about in a while. And that's why I'm excited about Gemini season, especially with Jupiter coming into Gemini, which will trine Pluto as well, is us looking at these things on a positive level, right? Because we've gone through such intense transits at the beginning of Taurus season with all the planets in Taurus squaring Pluto. We had Venus square Pluto, we had Mercury square Pluto, Sun square Pluto. That was hard. It was hard to look at that shit, and it was hard to face it, right? Now we can start to look at things on a positive, in a positive direction, and a much more, look at the darker, deeper things in a much more positive light, right? And look at things from both sides in a more neutral perspective, because that's what Gemini does. It looks at things from both angles, detaches from the emotion of it, and just says, okay, this is the feeling, this is the facts, here's the truth. And that's where we get to Sagittarius, right? On the opposition of Gemini, is you look at things from both sides, from your feelings and the facts, and you find the truth. Because the truth, of course, isn't. It can be different for anybody. But at the same time, I will, and people could argue with this, but I do think that, there are things in this universe that are definite truths, right? That we're all going to die, that, we can't go higher than the mountain, unless we invent technology to take us higher than, as far as we can climb physically, right? There are some truths that are guaranteed. And I think with this Saturn in Pisces and this moon in Sagittarius at 18 degrees squaring each other, I think today, with us getting so much positive energy with Venus and Pluto today, I think too, especially with our values and our belief systems and where, we just kind of have gotten lost in the sauce with Saturn and Pisces here. Saturn and Pisces is slowing down. So this moon squaring Saturn today can bring up some difficult emotional things where we have to really look at the truth, in a harsher, cold way and say, wow, shit really got messy here, even though I felt it and I, could intuit that something was wrong or something was off, and I didn't make the right decision. Now it's like, this moon square Saturn, especially slowing down to go retrograde, is kind of putting the pressure on to really look at things in a much more realistic, truthful, honest way and not get lost in the fantasy of things or in the non-reality of things, But also, don't forget the magic of how we create the future, with just being able to visualize. But at the same time, this moon is going to trine Mars at 18 degrees. So we have the moon in Sag at 18. We have Saturn and Pisces at 18. We have Mars in 18. So, when these difficult things do come up, it's like we can find ways to keep moving forward and keep pushing forward, where the path and the direction that we want to head as individuals, especially towards this more healed state as an individual, it's like we have to face the truth. We have to face the reality. We can't just get lost in the non-physical all the time. But also, what this Neptune sextile Jupiter that we just had with Venus conjunct, Neptune sextiling the Venus-Jupiter conjunction and the Sun, as well, all these Taurus planets that just crossed that 29-degree mark that was supported by Neptune. It's reminding us that if we want to be able to manifest and create that physical reality that we desire, that it can create a more stable, secure physical reality for us, we have to be able to visualize it. We have to be able to believe and dream it. It's not just like, well, I'm in control of my reality, so the only way you can create your reality is just by actually doing it physically. It's like, well, you add that whole other layer of, that internal faith and that belief and visualizing it within and then actually acting upon it physically. That's what that Neptune sextile, all of these Taurus planets, Venus, the Sun, Jupiter, and then Mercury, which is on its way, that's what it's been telling us, and expanding our belief systems, expanding the relationships that are really based in truth, that are based on the same pathway, and that, within this relationship or this value system, that we are aiming high. We are aiming high as high as we could go. Right? And that full moon really opened that up and was really calling us to end any belief systems where we're not willing to aim that high, just because maybe in life we haven't even explored that opportunity, or we just thought it wasn't possible based upon old beliefs from our upbringing that our parents told you, well, you got to be real. You got to just stay where you're at and, be comfortable where you are because, your ideas and your fantasies are all bullshit. Well, it's like, if you want to create the reality that you want, you have to be able to feel it. You have to be able to intuit it. And you have to believe it. And you have to have faith. Right? But this moon trine Mars today, it's like you want to create that bigger reality and be able to aim high to expand your life in the ways that you desire. You have to actually put that plan into action, and being able to heal that identity and look at your ego in a positive light, in an honest light, in a truthful light, that is what's going to take you there. So, and the moon will trine Chiron as well. So that is us actually looking at the truth and looking at our identity in a more truthful way and being able to accept I really had to commit to being truthful and honest about where I need to heal myself as a being. And the identity and the character that I want to be in the world, and self-development in the character. Not just your character, the clothes you wear or the costume you wear, but your character, you say, you go through a difficult situation, and we always use the phrase that difficult situation, helped me build character, right? That's what this Chiron in Aries really has been. It's character development, and not just your avatar, because, Aries can also be your avatar, right? The identity that you project into the world. So this is a really amazing day to really look at things in a much more positive light, and also get down to the truth of things and just say, this is how it really is. And we can't ignore it. We can't deny it. We can't just, and when we're willing to like branch outside of our comfort zones with Venus and Gemini now, making all this, these great trines to Pluto. You can really uncover some deep-rooted unconscious stuff that can really give you new information and give you facts that you forgot about or repressed or were hidden from you, right? Especially in relationships. If there's hidden things going on in relationships, like especially now, once Pluto goes back into Capricorn, it's going to keep blowing the lid off of that kind of shit. So get ready for that. But, being willing to dabble in new environments right now and just get out of your comfort zones as much as possible is really important. And Mercury's getting closer to Uranus over the next week. So, when new ideas come to you and they're like, I don't know about that. If it feels like you're unsure or, maybe like, oh, no one's done that yet, so I don't know if that'll be accepted. It's like, these are the ideas that are going to succeed. These are the ideas that are going to expand over time. Because keep in mind, all these Taurus transits that we just had, Jupiter, Uranus, Venus, Jupiter, the Sun, like Uranus is still going to be crossing these areas until 2026, So Uranus is still going to be activating these areas. And that new moon we just had in Taurus 2 weeks ago. Well, 15, 16 days ago. So get ready for that. Get ready. And then we're going to have the Venus-Sun Cazimi here in the next few days. Or over the next week. And we got the star card. So it is being able to look at all the possibilities, right? Being able to see, like when we can look further out and see that we're not alone and that there is something bigger than us, that's what really can help us like really shift and change our perspective and our belief systems towards just like, saying no, right? I think with Sagittarius and these Jupiter transits, saying yes is a very positive thing, Also, there's power in saying no as well, right? Like holding your values. It's saying, it's like, I'm not just going to say yes to everything, but I'm going to say yes to the right things. I'm going to say no to where things that, are not within the boundaries of what I know my reality to be. There's power in that as well. But, it's easy to fall into these negative states, especially with that was that Pluto Capricorn energy of like kind of being old and grumpy and no, I'm good. Now with these Uranus transits and Pluto, it's like being able to say, yeah, that is possible. There are more possibilities that are above us, but sometimes if you're just keeping your head down and you're not looking beyond you, you're going to miss out. I think I shared that story about what I saw in the sky the other night. I think it was a SpaceX thing, but it just reminded me of like, fuck, thank God I was looking up and saw that. And it was inspiring. And the guy next to me was looking at me weird because I was looking up and mesmerized by this. And he's probably like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? But he was just looking at me. He wasn't even looking up, right? So amazing times. And Jupiter's about to come into Gemini here by the weekend. So we're moving into whole new territory. It's Gemini season. New environments, new people, new connections, new information. Channel your ideas on paper. Okay? New, innovative, amazing ideas can come through right now with Mercury getting closer to Uranus. And now that the Sun and Venus and Jupiter will be in Gemini soon, Mercury's going to be dispositing all of those planets while it makes its conjunction with Uranus. I think, whether you know it or not, it could be anybody who just spouts out some incredible idea right now that could shift the course of humanity or something that could change people's lives or affect people, in a big way. New ideas that never existed before, but definitely new ideas that could challenge the norm and maybe make people really uncomfortable, but ultimately was very well needed. And that's how Uranus works. So hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. Like I said, if you're new here, like my video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, say what's up. My reading sale is available. Go to my booking website. It'll be over on the summer solstice. So, and go to all of my social media platforms if you have not. You'll find all the links in the description of this video, and I will see you guys there. I appreciate it, and yeah, I'm glad the sun signs went well, so I'm going to keep that pumping out each week. So have a wonderful Friday, and I'll see you all for the weekend. Peace.